You!
Cassie. Charisma.
Yeah.
See, my dumbass
We're back.
brain.
We're back. We're back. We're back.
We're back.
My
Good,
dumbass brain thought that was like a
Hey, we don't
reference.
self-deprecate here. How dare you?
Yeah.
Sam, do you know how often I called myself stupid?
Yeah, but you do it in a hot way.
All right, that's true. That's true.
Not at work.
You do it in the hot cat girl way.
Thank you.
Seriously
I hate
thought it was
that
a
Oh,
that's
you're
an
my
accurate
distinct. I'm a
statement.
cat
Damn.
girl.
God
Now we're
damn it.
completely derailed.
All right, so
Y'all are
you
getting
guys,
a babysitter.
so yeah, no, I remember now because Drake was talking about finding the
Black market.
yes, thank you, the black.
That was
market.
on a different planet.
Oh, was that going to be on a different planet you were looking for?
That's
But
we were
here, we
gonna
may be able to
kinda
find some
take a
friends that
glance.
might have some additional people who want to join the crew.
Yes, additional people who want to join the crew.
So,
That's what I'm looking for.
Val
Yeah,
and Utopia
exactly.
are gonna Utopia are gonna head back to talk to the hiking Daffod.
Yep.
And Callie, Lex, Drake, and Camille are going to go and try and find find other sources to gain some aid. Sound good? So,
Sure.
And
The coach-
nothing can go wrong.
absolutely
No,
not.
it all went wrong.
So the coach is sitting there waiting for you. Callie, Lex, Drake, and Camille, do you climb into the coach?
Yeah,
All right.
I'm climbing into the coach. I don't know what's going on. I think
Yeah.
we're going somewhere.
The
I mean, we're going somewhere.
The coach takes off and starts. It takes you. It takes you directly back to the ship, the Nameless. You notice that there's no one to communicate with, so you couldn't change directions anyway. So you guys get dropped off at the name. You're going to get dropped off at the Nameless. Val and Utopia, you guys are standing out in the landing. Those two big guards are behind you outside the doors. The doors did close as you came out them, though. So are you guys going to turn back around and go into the jeweled promenade entrance?
Yeah.
All right. So you guys turn around and start walking back. The guards kind of like are standing there. And as you walk back, the doors again swing open ahead of you. And you get into that huge domed area that is the ceiling is just covered in gems that are embedded in the ceiling. As you walk into that area, you see that same valet who kind of greeted you and brought you in. That brought you in across the entryway. He comes up to you and he's like, "Can I help you?"
Yes, we are hoping to gain audience with King Daffod. We have a bit of a question for him that we'd like to see if we can, or not so much a question, more of a proposition we'd like to see if he might be able to help us fulfill.
Let me just make sure that he is still available.
Of course.
If you would just wait here, I will be back in one moment.
Absolutely. Thank you.
And he just he goes stop walking off. And as I said, this is the main entry area, and there was those 4 entrances. The doorways you come through, a passage to the left and right, which you didn't go through, and those are just archways that go off to long corridors that seem to go off go off into deeper parts of the castle. And then the doorway just ahead of you that you went through that went into the grand dining area where you sat down for the meal with the actual excuse me pardon me, the meeting with the actual leaders of the Feywild. So so you guys are sitting there. He runs through that doorway ahead of you again. As you're standing there, what looks to be a procession of people comes walking through, and they're all in like very luxurious attire, silks, very fine Damascuses. Some of them even have like furling hoods. And leading the procession, walking on a very long crook cane, is what looks to be an ancient Aarakocra. And the Aarakocra is very interesting because he looks like he is a vulture. He has the skinless head. He has the long elongated neck. His fur, his wings that are coming out of his robe and are folded against his back are brown with white trim. And he is kind of stooped with age. And he is walking across and he's looking back over his shoulder and he's speaking to a gentleman behind him who seems to be a very large human. And although he is very heavily muscled and very broad-shouldered, he also looks like he's probably later in age. So he's got a big belly too and everything like that.
Okay.
But he looks at one time he was a powerful man. And he is in very
Still
nice.
might be a powerful man.
Well, yeah, and he's in very nice furred clothing. But it's like minks and stuff like an emerine. So it's very nice, beautiful, shining fur vest, and he's is walking kind of a step behind, almost seemingly out of respect, a step behind the Aarakocra, and the Aarakocra looks back over his shoulders and he says, "Yes, I understand what you're saying, but we cannot afford to keep on meddling in these." And he turns around as he's about to stop this, and he stops and is like, "Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't realize that we would have visitors in the hall." And the larger gentleman behind him steps up and he says, "Oh, Tad, you must always be well aware that the king runs a very social kingdom." And he says, "I hope that you all enjoyed your meal. I am Bart. This is Tad. We are two of the members of the King's Inner Council."
It is a pleasure to meet you. I am Valentine O'Call. This is my daughter Utopia.
Yes, Utopia Astor O'Call.
Indeed.
It says, we were told that you would be meeting with the High King and our other dignitaries and guests. It says, I hope everything went well.
Yes. We just had some extra details to kind of iron out, but yes, we believe that things went fairly well. We think, right? Let me turn to Utopia. Right.
Well,
Well, we made quite a bit more progress than
Should
expected.
have gone with them.
And he says, Tad, the Aarakocra, says, "I am very, very happy to understand that the High King and yourselves had a very productive meeting. But what my noble compatriot probably means is, did you come to an agreement?"
We did. That was the progress we hadn't been expecting to make so quickly.
Right.
It's very well. That is absolutely wonderful to hear, as we knew how much was at stake with this particular meeting, and the nature of everything that's been happening lately puts us in a state of high awareness of the importance of what was going to be established this day. And I am very glad to hear that you all were able to come to a meaningful conclusion.
Indeed, as are we. As I said, we just have a couple of things to iron out, but beyond that, I think satisfactory on all ends.
Well, I suppose that you want to address the High King then. Has someone gone ahead to announce you?
Yes, the valet is on their way to announce us and make sure that the king is still, in fact, available.
I can guarantee you he is, as he is waiting on us. I tell you what, let's do this, because it's much simpler than trying to get his valet to try and fit you in before we arrive, so he can have that a conversation with you. Let us just escort you in, and that way you can speak directly to him, and we will be there present as well, so that there will be no need to him worry about putting us off in favor of speaking with you.
Certainly.
Trust.
We appreciate
Forgive me for being a politician.
No, your generosity is very much appreciated.
He's like, yeah.
It is.
Well, just come with us. We will gladly be the escort of such noble heroes. And thank you again for providing aid to our causes.
It was the least we could do.
I am from the Eyrie, which I don't know if you know of it, but it is the largest settlement of Aarakocra in the Myth Mother's kingdoms. We live in the same mountain chain as our noble friends, the gnomes. Whereas they delve into the earth, we live above it and on it. And so it's a very symbiotic relationship.
Perfectly balanced,
Yes.
as all things should be.
Indeed.
Well, as we would like all things to be, but in all honesty, we all know that the world is nothing but shades of gray.
That is true.
That is very true.
50 of them. Don't you? You shut the fuck. You shut the fuck.
So
Not
it's-
there.
I'm not.
He's causing trouble remotely. Remember, he's got the mind link.
Oh my god.
So he can cause problems from wherever he is. So anyway, you guys walk in with the rest of them. Apparently, these two gentlemen are part of his council. Everyone else, the other like 4 or 5 people that were coming along with them, they're apparently their attachés, assistants, etc., etc. As you walk in, first off, you see that the long table in this room has been cleared, so there's not set up for serving food anymore. There are about a dozen other people in this room. Probably, it's actually if you do a quick head count, it's 11. And there is the High King himself, who's sitting at the head table, and then there is 10 other people in the room who are seated around the table. The 2 seats on to the left and the right of the High King are left open. And the High King looks in and looks up and he says, "Oh, I see that you've met some of our guests. I'm sorry, I had no idea that you all were still present. Did you need something else?"
Yes, there was a brief matter that we wanted to bend your ear on. A quick proposition to perhaps iron out and negotiate, if you would be so kind.
He says, he looks around the room and he says, "Certainly, please bring this topic up freely amongst my advisors, as I will probably be bringing it to them directly afterwards."
Fair
We'll
enough.
cut out the middle time.
Middle time is so important. So yes, understandably, we agree. So in our meeting with our guests earlier, and our successful negotiations therein, the cost of that being, or we understand and recognize that part of that agreement was to halt the enemy progress through those ways. What we are hoping for is to utilize those ways in which to move our own troops back and forth, to both secure various points of strategic importance, and also to maybe throw a monkey wrench or two in the plans of our enemy.
The High King says it's an excellent proposal. I wish, and he kind of looks around the room and says, "I wish someone had brought it sooner." The
As
biggest
do we.
issue that I think we're going to have is it's not exactly a reliable means of communication reaching out to our new friends. But I am definitely willing to try in any way, shape, or form that we can. What do you foresee anything that I may need to bring up to them in order to make sure that we have the proper responses? Did you detect anything they might be hesitant about with this situation?
We could see a possibility that they might. They may be reticent in that it's another foreign body or several foreign bodies occupying their home space to make these movements. But we would do everything in our powers to secure that there would be no trouble from our end to their lands or their realms at all.
Would you think, and this is, Tad speaks up now, he says, would you think there would be any way that if we limited it to just, say, our troops or our forces, that it would make them more open to the idea?
Given the way the Elatran military seems to like to forcibly spread their wings, I don't think I'd be opposed to that, and I don't think that they would be either. I think that is a fine idea.
It would also give us the chance to focus the forces of Elatras where we need to, and not be spread so thin.
Indeed.
There are still the twins to be dealt with, and Kyrell, of course, which is where we are still headed. It would be helpful to have another set of forces dealing with that aspect. The Elatran forces are still trying to recover from a lot.
The gentleman in the large furs, Drad, he kind of sets up, he says, did you hear something about the twins? I heard that they were doing fairly well just because of the wild, chaotic nature of their environments. In fact, I had heard that the Feywild was the main threat there, and now that we've seemed to neutralize the Feywild, they should be one of the few least affected places.
Yes, I just err on the side of caution because of how unexpected a lot of the attacks have been thus far. I wouldn't put it past them to... I wouldn't put it past the other forces other than the Feywild to redirect their attention there, just because it would be a very difficult place to defend because of how chaotic it is. And it could be possible for them to gather there, proliferate, and possibly use that as kind of a last-ditch effort to regroup. Given if you were to help us, then we would be able to secure Elatras, we would be able to secure Cordanthan. We are headed to Kyrell. They're running out of places to hide, and that might be the place that they end up.
I think one of the biggest issues that we have noticed is their attack was well researched. They started with Elatras, and they threw Elatras into massive disarray, thereby clearing the way for a lot of people to just feel relieved rather than threatened. And now we have a completely different situation where a lot of those people now understand how bad it is, but there's not much that I don't know if there's anything that can be done to truly save Elatras. I don't know. I don't know why. I don't know. I know it's your home world, and I know it's your home. And by the way, this is still the Aarakocra. And he says, this is, I know this is your home world and your home. But we need to make sure that we can have the safety of the free worlds be the priority. If Elatras has fallen, then we do not need to expend more resources than necessary to try and retrieve something that we may be able to bargain back for at the treaty table later.
Yes, I mean, and while we are from Elatras, we represent the entirety of the lands and realms within the Mist Mother as a whole. Our duty is not just to one planet, but to all of them. So to your statement, yes, we also represent the free worlds and want to do everything that we can to protect them and to secure their freedoms and their safety.
Well, I must say that I am very pleased to hear that. And Bad, the guy in the furs, that says, I don't believe that what they're saying is that they're willing to sacrifice Elatris, but they are definitely willing to think of the best for the free worlds. And High King David says, and we wouldn't ask anyone to sacrifice anyone else. What we're going to do is we are going to reach out to the members of the emissaries of the Feywild left here for this very purpose. And we are going to bring this conversation up to them. Did you have any direct idea of how you wanted to use this immediately? Or is this more of a for future events? Did you have something you wanted to use it for? Or are you just thought of a really great a use for our new allies?
It was more of a really good use for our allies and this new friendship, we'd like to call it, between us all, to aid us in the cause of free or multiple free worlds.
The only reason I ask is I do understand that you all were in, aside from the damage to your ship, the only reason you stopped here was to get repairs to that, which, by the way, will be completed on time, as we stated. But your other portion of your mission was to reach Kyrell as quickly as possible.
That is correct.
Yes.
If these Feywild paths can get you there faster than the rest of your trip through the Mist Mother, would that be something you would be interested in taking advantage of?
Yes, that could be very handy.
I also see it as a means for us to gain some valuable reconnaissance about what it's like in the Feywild for our own purposes. We need to know what to expect if we're going to be asking our troops to march through foreign lands.
Agreed.
I feel it would be only fair for us to be the first to go.
We agree as well.
Very well.
If
Go ahead.
helps.
Val?
Yes.
Didn't we still have the lieutenants? Couldn't we direct them to those positions?
Yes, we could. That's a fantastic idea.
I feel like that would be the most efficient way to handle things. If we can get as many of them taken out as soon as possible, that would reduce everyone's danger.
Indeed. And to the group at large, there was something that suddenly comes to the minds. There are a number of lieutenants belonging to the other side that we have locations on, and we could give those locations to you and have your troops target those locations specifically to take down those lieutenants, to weaken the enemy campaign, possibly crippling them.
High King David crosses his arms and sits back in his chair. How long were you intending on holding on to that information?
It was not something that we necessarily intended to hold on to. We only just remembered it. A lot has happened over the last few days. Please forgive us our absent-mindedness.
Many different things have been working in tandem. We were aware that the Lady of Justice, who is being held at Kyrell, was expected to be used as another source of power for them. We also we're trying to strike in as many places as we can. We didn't realize how important the Feywild was to their movements. We were under the impression that they were using a different realm to avoid the time that they were spending when they were killed. We didn't realize that the Feywild is the way that they were moving. So that has been handled, but then that leaves us with the lieutenants and the Lady of Justice. So we were expecting to have to handle both. So if you could assist us with one, then we would probably be able to help a lot more with the other and make sure that they don't have another way to establish more connections, because we understand that the lieutenants were also a way that they were moving as well.
So Drad, the big guy in the furs, kind of leans forward and he says, "How many lieutenants are we talking about?"
Oh shoot! I gotta look through the fucking notes, bro.
I mean,
oh my god!
Xanathar is mainly a naval operation, is why I'm asking. We do have strike teams, we do have Marines, but as a standing army, we mainly rely on militia, and what you're talking about seems to be more like wholesale assaults on fortified positions situations. And we are not in a position to get into a prolonged military engagement unless we have more time to conscript troops.
Ray, how many lieutenants are there? I can't remember.
Say what?
Ray, how many lieutenants are there?
There are 4.
Okay, there's 4.
Mm-hmm. Well, if there weren't before, there are 4 now.
Wonderful.
There were 4 lieutenants, because I remember it was going to be 4 lieutenants, and I remember how my storyline was going to go. So yes, there are 4.
Okay.
And he says, what are we looking at for this? Was this since this is something you were going to handle? I'm assuming that this means it was going to be a situation of a very elite unit of heroes going in to eliminate these lieutenants individually.
That was the expectation. There's
Yes.
4 of them. And there's already been infighting that started in Evertree. And so the organization is already a bit weakened, but there were still 4 lieutenants for us to handle. Oh, why did Lacrimosa start playing? That's not good. That's not good at all. Oh my god.
Did you have any information on what happened in Alatras?
Do you mean in Evertree specifically, or?
No, in the capital.
Oh, there was an uprising that sealed off, or rather closed, one of the major portals that they were using to summon more of their kind, as well as, they turned the city into a factory, essentially. And so both of those were taken down by an uprising of the people who were still there and people who were brought there.
The reason that I ask, and then the Aarakocra interrupts him, the reason my associate asks is because there was a notable disturbance in magical energies, and there was a great reduction in the disruption of the Miss Mother's essence in the capital.
Yes, that was the portal. The colleges were being used as basically a headquarters, and yet another way that they were moving through realms that they weren't supposed to. It was enormous. It basically took over the entire city. There was a storm summoned, I believe, as well, that allowed them to move at all hours, and so all of that was disrupted and destroyed.
Yes, there was a mage that was being used basically as a battery. That particular situation was eliminated, for lack of a better term.
No, I understand. He says, all right, so what I think we have a good understanding of what the situation is on Alatras and what your situation is here. And the High King Daffod kind of interrupts him and he says, yes, and I believe that we're not going to have any problems trying to establish this new concept. Whether they will agree to it or not, they seemed amenable during our dinner, and I do have you all to thank for that. So we will let you know the moment we hear word about whether or not they'll be willing. You still have at least another day here before the repairs are finally completed, so hopefully we'll hear quickly.
Yes.
That would be fantastic. And please let us know if there's anything that we can do to aid in that matter.
Yes, absolutely.
I don't know if there's anything you can do, but we do want to once again thank you for everything you've done. And it says, and I hope you have a wonderful rest of your evening.
Thank you.
Thank
Your
you.
Majesty.
You as well.
So let's switch over to chaos, chaos, and chaos.
Chaos, 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 and
And
commute.
babysitter.
Yeah, chaos, 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 and hopeless babysitter who is lost in the sauce.
Chaos Crew and the babysitter.
Chaos crew, the babysitter. So,
And that's Chaos and Crew with a K.
so you guys get back to the Nameless. Where are you going to head in order to find the dark underbelly?
Well, I know a good way to find out. So let's go to the dock workers.
God. So how do you do that, Drake?
I thought you'd never ask.
God.
We were hoping you'd never ask.
Oh boy.
Go right ahead, sir. Let me know. You tell
Like
me.
we'll just goes to one of the dock workers. Like, excuse me, you seem to know this place fairly well.
Doctor May.
Aye.
I mean, I work here.
Aye. Since you know it better than the rest of us do, hoping you might be able to help point us in the right direction.
Whorehouse is that way.
Anything
You
else in that
answered my
direction?
question.
The bar,
All right.
the money lenders.
Drake,
Perfect.
Drake, can I try something?
By the way, this guy's a gnome.
Can I try something?
Yeah, sure. Why not?
Okay. Okay.
You
I'm
lean
gonna-
forward and he leans back a little bit.
Oh no, I'm not trying to like intimidate you or anything
Oh, well,
right now.
Oh,
Relax. She's as
and then
friendly as a
his-
kitten.
Both his eyebrows go out and says, "Oh, so you were going to try something then?"
No, no. I just feel weird being this tall when you're down there, so I just want to be
I
close.
like trying things. What are we trying?
Oh,
We're gonna get to that.
Lex-
We're gonna try some stuff
I
tonight.
think
It's
the only
fine.
thing that's getting tried at the moment is Lex's patience.
No. I'm fine. Look, okay.
Uh-huh.
So you mentioned the whorehouse, which thank you for that, and the bar and the moneylenders.
Mhm.
But like the really seedy people, the seedy people who do shit that maybe is even less on the up and up than the moneylenders. Where do they hang out?
I'm assuming you have a good reason for wanting this information.
Yes.
So I'm also assuming that if you have a good reason, then you understand that information has value.
I'm listening.
So my time also has value. In fact, I'm probably going to get yelled at because I'm not at work.
Was he loading things onto our ship?
Nope.
Nope. Okay. And how much do you make?
Well, I know that currently I'm in my work clothes, so it doesn't really show. But I am very, very, very well paid.
Yeah. I got an aristocrat who doesn't understand the meaning of money.
Can you make them go into a dark alley in, let's say, 2 to 3 hours?
I'd feel real bad about that because they're also my friend.
All right, well then, can you just convince them that I'm a wonderful person to adopt?
Probably.
It would take no effort.
All I have to do is point you and say, adopt this one, and they'll probably go for it.
He says, that was a joke. He says,
No,
All
I'm
right.
serious, though.
She'll do it.
oh, we'll think about it. He says,
We'll keep it on the table.
all right, let's set some actual goals for this conversation for a moment. How about this? Real easy. I'll tell you the name and location and password to get into a local illicit fighting house.
Bet.
Now we're talking.
And for that, let's say that tomorrow, around sunset, you take me to dinner. Don't eat me. Or do. I don't know.
Just mentally, in what manner?
I think I've broken her.
I'm a really good cook. I can make you dinner.
Is that also in the mind link?
No, that's out loud. I feel
That's
like
out
that was
loud. That's out loud. I appreciate it greatly. And trust me, you are absolutely lovely. But,
Oh, thanks. I took a bath last week.
and it shows. He says,
Oh,
but if that's crossing a line, I apologize.
Can I make an insight check?
Sure.
And I'm not good at these, so there's every possibility I'm gonna fail.
You can just,
Oh,
you can just
no.
roll a d20 for it because I don't have the Things about it.
My sheet isn't even showing up for
I
me
know.
on Foundry, so I'm just gonna click insight, which I have a +0 to anyway, so it's a straight D20.
There you go. Roll it.
That is a 5.
What were you trying to learn via your insight check?
Does he want to be squished in a good way?
He won death by snooze.
Death by Snoo Snoo.
He does seem to be attempting to flirt. Yes, he is
Death
only
by
3 feet
snooze,
tall,
death
so it's
by
sometimes
snooze,
hard to
snooze.
interpret.
hey. For some reason,
Snoo Snoo.
Shorty's like the Tullies. I don't know why. Looks at wife. No, that makes sense.
Looks at wife. Yeah, no, that really makes
Climb
sense.
every mountain.
That is in fact playing in the back of this gnome's mind.
100%.
Climb every furry mountain.
I'm not tall enough to be a tall girl, and I'm too tall to be a short girl.
Yeah, but we love you anyways.
Exactly. Don't you forget it.
You don't know what I
Oh.
look like in real life.
I see your face once a week, and that's enough.
I've met you
War
in real
paint.
life.
Yeah,
Bet.
war paint.
Do not underestimate my investigative or my analyst abilities.
What about your investigative analytic abilities?
Okay, the only pictures of me without makeup online are when I was 15. So go have fun.
Bet.
Death by snooze, snooze. Yeah.
He says, he kind of looks at you and says, so is it a date?
Oh.
She gets it.
Be up there.
That was quicker than I anticipated. Huh. She's
I
learning.
didn't know we were coming here to court people. Like that's fancy.
I feel like also at the same time, Drake and Callie are both just actually no, probably also Val and Utopia because she's just like
Yeah.
weighing pros and cons in her mind and is like, I mean, we kind of need this information because Drake was getting nowhere.
Jake was getting nowhere.
If I was disguised, I
Warpaint.
might, but do not a lot of effort and a lot of padding.
Yeah, but you were getting
Uh-oh. Hang on a second.
Yes.
Where are you going?
Wait, he's joining the team?
Okay. No,
Where are you
In
going?
the mind link,
it's a
Yeah.
phrase.
through the mind link, we're getting a lot of horny vibes. What's going on over there?
Don't worry about it. Everything is handled.
I'm taking one for the team and going on a date with a gnome tomorrow.
Have fun crushing it.
I'm pretty sure he wants to smash
going
me.
on a date with the gnome tomorrow.
Nice. Smash.
Added, I'm pretty sure he wants to smash me.
Just
I'm
remember,
pretty sure
we
we're
can't
pretty
leave
sure
any
you're going to
bodies
show him
behind.
what smash truly means.
Wait,
I'm
I'm
in-
confused now.
This does involve an underground fighter ring.
Do you
That
need
was
help?
Aren't you
Alright.
sad you went to see the king now?
Yes, we're very sad. Very,
I
very
didn't
sad.
peek. Butch lesbian being hit on by a potentially straight man. Lex will hold out her hand very awkwardly.
Oh my
It's a date.
God!
he
I
shakes your
fucking
hand
love her.
firmly and he says, "Very well." He says, "What you need to do is go down into the old district." He's like, "Once you're there," he says, "go find a warehouse. It's beaten up. It's fallen apart." He says, "But ignore the outside. You'll know you're there because you're going to be on Cobble Street. So find Cobble Street, and you're going to go down towards the river." It says, "When you see the warehouse, you'll know it because it looks like a piece of shit, but there'll be at least 6 or 7 people standing around outside arguing about who the fuck knows what. Walk up to one of those 4 or 5 people outside the business and say, 'I'm here to go to church.' He says, 'You'll have to pay to get in.' He says, 'If it's more than 5 silver, just know you're going to be expected to place bets.' He says, 'because that means that there's some premium fighters in there that night.' He says, 'but if it's 5 silver or less, that just means it's locals only.'"
How do I get into the fights?
You pay. Oh, wait. You're gonna fight?
And Lex just
Do you need money to bet with?
No, we have enough. Trust me.
Are you
And he
sure?
says-
Stay out of the.
Oh my god, it's like a dream come true.
Are you sure?
Do they do duos in there?
He says, "I don't know." He says, "You've only been a few
It'll be fine,
times."
sweetheart.
He says, "They do all kinds of. They do exotic matches. You can fight against monsters." He says, "But the big thing is the 1v1s." He says, "The reigning champion, Tusker, he is a fucking beast. Of course, he is a troll, but
it's like the first time I've taken down a troll. They're
Oh,
easy.
we fought trolls. Do you need help?
he says,
Stay
well,
out of this.
either way."
I'm a gladiator.
He's like, "Do you have the outfit?"
Oh my god.
Like, oh,
Hold on.
oh, no, just mentally, just
God.
oh, he's one of those. Oh, this will
Okay.
be easy to
Okay,
exploit.
wait. Someone pick evens or odds.
Odds.
You did.
Odds. Okay.
Oh man.
Rolling a dice.
Oh
Jeez.
god.
Odds. She has the outfit.
It's like, Lex, if you're willing to
Actually,
go
I
on this,
do.
how far are you willing to go? All right, there we go.
He says, "Well then, yes. So, yeah, I purposely go back to work. I'll see you tomorrow."
Wait, hold on. I have to send Sam a message. Give me a second.
Are you doing anything before he walks off?
That's why I need to hold
Okay.
a second because
Got
I
it,
have
got it,
to,
got it,
I
got it,
have
got
to send Sam a message.
You gotta send Sam a message. Got it. Sam, did you get your message yet?
Why are you sending that to me?
Because you're more likely to get it than I am. I have no insight or perception.
You know what? That's fair. That's fair. That's fair.
I
You
don't
know what?
even
Fuck
know.
it. Fuck it. We'll do it. Just seeing this guy react this way, Drake is gonna try to insight him to see it's like if he's reacting out of fear or otherwise. Because this is something they can exploit.
We're reconnected.
That's right. We do roll it through that. So let me see if rolling it this way will help.
Yes.
Oh, that's actually better. Or almost as good. 18.
Ah,
So you rolled a 18 for insight. You rolled an 18 for your boner check. And yes, this young gentleman is obviously very, very attracted to our lovely Lex.
it's just going up.
Uh-oh.
Reconnected again. Jesus, this thing's bad.
No.
No, we keep on dropping and keep reconnecting. I don't know what's going on.
All right, Garrett, I'm just going to go ahead and instinctively blame Google Chrome.
I'm gonna kill this and see if that helps any. I just shut down Foundry, so roll in.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, because
roll in D&D Beyond.
Okay.
Bet.
Shiny.
Yeah, a frame drops just disappeared completely.
Hey.
that had to be it then.
Yep.
Yeah.
But we're still reconnecting, so give it a minute. Reload the player and see if that works.
Dad, can we go bet on the fighters?
Can we go bet on the fighters?
You
One
handle
of the fighters.
you handle the politicians. We'll handle the scum of the underbelly.
Oh,
No, we're finished with the politics.
we handled
I
that.
get to be useful.
We handled that.
Did you say you get to be useful?
Yes.
We gave them
You? Don't you mean we?
we gave them very good ideas. Can we go?
What makes you think I need help?
Oh, I'm not
Yeah,
talking
let's
about
go.
in the ring.
I mean, I don't need help outside the ring either.
Greg,
usually.
what's the dress code?
It's
I'm
like
sure we're fine.
I'm talking
whatever
about.
you want.
I'm more just discussing talking people up, getting them convincing them otherwise to bet against you, so that we
Oh yeah,
can
no,
raise
so we make
the
a shit ton of
odds.
money. I'm here for that.
Greg,
Yes.
what's
But-
the dress code?
Clothes.
That's not very
Clothes.
specific. Do you want me to look like I should get robbed or no?
So, did you stop him from walking off, by the way, Lex, or did you let him walk off as Drake assessed him?
Oh my god.
Lex would have, as Drake assessed him if he was walking off, the minute Drake said that, like, he was being lured in like a drunken trout.
Drunken trout
just-
got her. Kitty wants fishy?
He's a man eater.
Anyway, continue.
It's just it's a one arm, just the one arm,
Mm.
one finger onto the shoulder as he
Mhm.
walks away,
Okay.
and then just
He stops.
returns. The hand returns very slowly, kind of trying to draw the gaze.
Yeah, he stops and he's turned around. He turns around, looks over his shoulder, and he's drawing the hand back. He just kind of like continues to turn around. He's like, "Yes."
It's too bad you can't make it. And then she'll start heading back towards the ship like she's getting the outfit.
You see him walk like 3 steps away. He's like, "Mac, Mac!" And you see this guy with a clipboard at another ship, like going, "No, put it over there." He's like, "What the fuck you doing, Kinsey? Get over here!" He's like, "I quit."
Part of the ship, part of the crew.
So we did adopt him.
So
Legit.
this is a good place to take a break because I'm out of
Yes.
drink.
God. Oh my god.
So in typical fashion for Dinner and a Game, we've turned into a bunch of horn dogs, and we're going to take a break because we all need to cool off now and get drinks. Someday
I'm keeping my energy. I have to keep continuing to flirt with the
You need to cool off. The rest of them, I don't know.
Well,
So-
what's that?
Ladies and gentlemen, please give us a few minutes to refresh ourselves, and we shall return. We thank you so much for having joined us, and we hope you continue to stay with us, and we love you. Be back in a minute. And we're back. Thank you all, ladies and gentlemen, for letting us take a break. We really appreciate it. I have my Diet Coke. Lex has her tiny boy toy.
Don't talk about
Hey.
Sam like that.
Don't talk about
When am I tiny?
Hey, I'm sure something's tiny, maybe like a pinky.
Oh.
Yeah, because my pinkies are kind of malformed from being slammed into so much furniture and things, so you might be onto something.
Good night, ladies and gentlemen.
That's it.
I've killed Ray.
All right, so I'm assuming you want to head to the church. All this was taking place during the time frame that you guys were talking to the other folks, the council.
Yes,
so
we're heading to the church.
You're heading to the church, which is going to take you a little bit of time. So, Val, you and Utopia are headed out about the same time that they're getting ready to head to the church. What are you guys going to do?
Gonna probably try to meet up with them.
All right. And where's so you're going to head down? What was the name of the street? God damn it, I just said it.
Aha.
Cobble
Uh-huh.
Street.
Cobble Street, that's right. Yeah, so you're headed down to Cobble Street to meet up with them. You guys book a Sky Coach to go to Cobble Street?
Yeah.
Yep.
All right. When you asked to go to Cobble Street, by the way, are you your new friend is tagging along?
Okay.
Ray, you're muted.
Yeah, we've lost you.
Sorry, I accidentally tapped my mute button. So he's walking kind of like beside you, Lex, and he's like, "So, not from around here, are ya?"
Buddy.
Genius. This
Ow.
guy. This guy is a genius. How could you have realized? Drake just has like a shit-eating grin.
The urge to not be sarcastic, though. Oh, that
Now,
obvious,
now,
is it?
let's play along.
Nah, I've been in the spindle most of my life.
He's like, "Well, you're getting to see the world now." He says, "You are over on the black ship, yes?"
For a bit now.
He says, "You know, everyone in every port has heard of that ship, both in its former glory and its current condition."
And what are they saying nowadays?
Oh. They're saying that ship has a bounty on its head.
Really? How much?
Drake, we're not turning in our own ship.
No. I want to hear it.
I don't much hold to that type of talk. This is so I don't know exactly what the amount is. All I know for sure is that there's some people out there who really, really, really want you all dead.
Yeah, they
Really?
tried. It's very obvious they failed.
That's what the rumor is. Seems like every time they fail, the bounty gets bigger.
I swear, if I find out this bounty is pitiful, I'm going to be pissed.
It's gotta be a decent bounty at this point. I mean, wait. Belt they used when they sent all the flaming rocks down and destroyed half of the spindle.
Yes, we believe that was a meteor.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, they literally used meteor on us, and that didn't work.
And he's your gnomish companion says, so apparently what they're offering is quite a bit along the lines of just about enough to make anyone be able to live the life of comfort, no matter what their lifespan.
Ah, come on. Not even a life of luxury? That's bullshit. We got to raise that. I'm
But you
insulted.
understand that the majority of people think a life of comfort is a life of luxury.
Yeah,
Yeah, but
when
not
you've
the ones
had
actually
luxury,
bold enough to actually pursue it.
comfort is nothing.
It's like,
You're welcome.
Those bold or stupid enough to pursue it actually know that that's not a whole lot.
the Kinsey looks at you and says, hopefully I won't have to take your word for it for long.
I mean, yeah, our noble friend will definitely adopt you. Like, no questions asked. All I have to say is adopt this person and they'll do it.
Understood. I'm probably a little bit too old for adopting.
That wouldn't stop her.
No.
Little makeup and a wig, she'll fall for
Wait,
it.
how old are you?
I'm 47, I do believe.
Oh, then I'm much too old to be adopted.
You're an elf.
Yeah?
Who knows how old you are?
I mean, I know how old I am.
What I'm
She's still new
saying
to
is
this.
elves never
Show
appear.
the slight tipped ears and the sharper eyes.
He says, interesting. I hadn't heard that.
What are they saying?
They said that you're the child of a former pirate.
Indeed I am.
But I heard you were a Latran. Human.
Latran and human? They came and took over the territory I called home.
He says, they seem to do that. He says, I am having quite a bit of problem, though, because I haven't heard of gorgeous cat women running around anywhere. And I swear I would have heard this.
Then you need to get out.
Well, I had no idea there were gorgeous cat women on Elatris, otherwise I would have made my way very quickly.
There aren't. They usually, considering how big Elatris is now, more or less they're either had their
Considering how
territory
big the
taken
cat
over.
women are, how do they hide them?
Underground?
He looks at you, Lex, and he's like, do you live underground?
Kind of in the mountain.
Sorta?
Then maybe you're right.
Can hide a lot underground.
I'm-
She knows the most about underground.
Why do you know the most about underground?
I hid underground
Oh,
for like
Did you miss
100
the
years.
mushrooms?
you were underground for 100 years?
Or was it 200?
I mean, how old are you?
236.
Okay, how many of those years were spent underground?
A lot of them.
How many of those years were not spent underground?
Not very many.
Okay, so probably like 200 then.
Yeah.
You don't look like the type of elf that I understand resides in the earth.
It's a long story.
She's special.
I mean, yeah, kind of. I don't think we were supposed to be underground. We moved underground. And now we're moving back up to the surface.
Congratulations.
Yeah, I'm very excited.
And we will drink to celebrate.
Okay. What are we drinking?
Whatever they're serving, probably.
Okay.
Probably right. Good.
So
I don't
as,
think I've been to a church before.
he's like, oh no, it's just called the church. It's not actually a church.
Oh.
It's remember
I
some
kinda
of those
church.
places I would take us that required like some sort of code name or always called something, never ended up being exactly what it was called. This is one of those places.
I feel like that's a lot of places we go.
Precisely.
He says,
Good business.
A lot of things that you guys name things on the surface that don't really make sense.
Fair.
Oh no, for this one, it's on purpose.
So
Throws
you guys,
people off.
the air coach comes down on the end of a in a very large like square at the center with the center crossing of 4 major streets. The north-south direction of the streets are nothing is a cobbled road that is very, very wide, and in the center of that cobbled area there is a large water fountain. It's not working. The water is all mildewed and nasty. The buildings here don't look as well cared for as other buildings do. The road that is running to the east-west from the square is much narrower, and it is looks like it's like packed earth, not cobbled or paved in any way, shape, or form. And that road has like deep wheel ruts and everything going through it. And it looks like it's really only big enough, wide enough for like a single carriage to go down at one time in one direction. As the air taxi lands, you guys climb out, and the cabbie says, "Good luck getting home. Not many people will venture down here with an air cab." He's like, "I'm only coming because I'm dropping you off and leaving immediately."
Well, thank you. And Utopia's gonna tip him a gold piece.
Gotcha.
Damn it! Quick, I want money. Wait,
It's one! It's 1 gold piece! We have so many, it's fine.
So, and both of you everyone gets the same basic kind of gist from the air cabbies who drop you off. Like, you can get dropped off here, but no one really wants to come hang around driving around looking for someone to pick them up. So, and plus, people who normally call for a cab here are calling it to rob it. So,
Oh, that's unfortunate.
Very unfortunate.
you guys are on the street. There's a lot of people coming and going. The north-south route looks to be made up primarily of different businesses. There is a lot of resale shops. There is a lot of stuff like, there's butcher shops and stuff like that. A lot of resale shops, a lot of merchant shops for different lines. Like there's textile merchants, there's stuff like that. And there's also a lot of buildings that are like, multi-story housing above those shops. So the streets are very much, lots of movement, lots of people going back and forth. As you get farther away from the square, however, the buildings go more into large storage warehouses or factory buildings, like, giant houses that are like for basically doing the whole manufacturing of different goods. And there's a lot of people here who, like, obviously their clothes look very worn and mended. So you get the feeling that these is a lot of people who are like very poor working class folk. As you head down the street, you get to an area that's more and more losing that whole industrial side and looking more like, large warehousing, storage, and you can see and hear that you're getting closer to the river at this point. The river winds down through the mountains and is probably one of the fastest ways to travel out of the mountains, but it also, of course, has a lot of things like rapids and stuff like that, where they have actual fords that go around it that they've cut for the river itself to get boats through. But you guys are headed that way right now, and right before you get to where you can visually see the river, you can smell it and kind of hear it, but before you can visually see the river, you see what the guy described, a absolutely ramshackled warehouse. It's not even as big as the other warehouse buildings, And you can see there's a bunch of guys standing outside of the main entrance to the warehouse, and you can see them. They're basically arguing about what sounds like to be a bare knuckle boxing match. That they were arguing about who actually won it. And when one of the gentlemen is a large orc, and he's like, "I'm telling you, when Stony cut him up like that and caught him with that elbow to the chin, he was out on his feet. If the ref hadn't called him from an illegal strike to the head with an elbow," he's like, "And where does it say in the rules you can't strike a man with an elbow in a fight? I mean, I've bashed more people in the head with an elbow than I can count on 2 elbows." He says, "But in the meantime, I'm still saying that Stony won that fight. There is no way he didn't. That man was unconscious on his feet, and the ref hadn't stepped in, he would have been on the canvas." And are you guys just walking up or what?
Oh yeah.
As you guys are walking up, the orc turns towards you and he says, "What do you want?"
We're here to go to church.
He's like, he kind of looks you up and down. He's like, looks at the rest of the crew and he's like, "Interesting." He says, "Good night for it." He's like, escorting a noble on a slumming mission.
Little of column A, little of a different column B.
Kinsey's standing beside you and he's like, "It's a date." And the orc looks down,
not
he's
the
like,
column B I was talking about.
"Kinsey, you still owe me 5 gold. And Kinsey's like, "I'm good for it." He's like, "I'll be down here on Thursday just like normal. I'll get it to you then."
Is that all?
Utopia.
Too late. I already said it.
No, it's like
I already said
Utopia.
it. I already said it.
Stop. We do not need to be showing our cards this early.
What
Oh,
cards? It's-
please.
I didn't know we were bringing cards.
well, I do have cards on me, but it's not cards.
Utopia, it's a turn of phrase.
If he's our new friend, then
Hold
He's like-
until afterwards.
He says, the orc says, "Well, Kinsey, if you owe me 5 gold, there's no way you're getting in tonight. Because that's why I thought you was escorting a noble on a slumming mission, because we happen to have some premium fighters in tonight."
Oh, believe me, we do plan on betting.
He's like, "You bet."
We
because
may
it's a
even be able
gold-
to beat-
It's a gold ahead to get in, and I know someone's gonna have to cover that broke little bitch. And he points at Kinsey.
It's like, and what if I told you we have a fighter of our own to shake things up a bit?
He says, "Well, that's not up to me to decide. I just collect the door fee." He's like, if you want to try and get a fighter in tonight's lineup, it's gonna be rough. He says they've got a full card up. He says, but if you got someone worthy, he says, when you get inside, go up and find the head bartender. His name's Mac. He says, find Mac, tell him you want to get a fighter into the lineup. He's like, and maybe slip him a little something to help get a word in for you. He's like, and he kind of looks around at all of you and he's like, I have no idea why any noble would want to come down and beat shit out of the commoners, but if that's their kink, that's their kink.
It's like, oh, no one's coming in here. No.
I'm just here to cheer on my friend.
He's like, who's fighting then?
And let's
just give a thumb to
cracks
thumb
the
to left.
knuckles.
And he's like, holy shit. And Kinsey's standing beside you and he kind of just like puts his arm around the back of your thigh and puts his arm around you and he's like,
It's like, hey,
Hey, Kinsey pull.
muscles apparently. What?
And the guy's like, oh, that's interesting. That might actually get you in. He's like, oh, and I bet you I even know who you're going to fight too. Oh, but I'm going to let it be a surprise. Tell you what, her cover, paid. If she gets in the ring, just, yes. You guys, gold a piece. The rest for the fighter lady, no, you right in, man.
Right.
Drake will handle it because he knows
Kinsey-
Utopia will overpay.
As you're walking in, Lex,
it.
Kinsey's like still walking in right beside you, and he's like, "Oh no,
Like a
Kinsey,
cat.
get your fucking ass back here. You're paying."
It's scrubbed like a cat. Just-
And Kinsey's like, but I'm with her.
Relax. It'll just literally take a coin and just flick it with enough force you can like literally catch it, and there'll be just a slight amount of impact from it.
Oh, you want the orc to catch it?
Yes.
Oh, okay. Well, he kind of like
literally just
Oh,
like
yeah,
instead of
here.
just tossing the coin, literally just snap flick the coin.
Oh, yeah. No, you snap flick it, and he literally just like corner of the eye, pack.
Good
And he kind of
catch.
flips it over, and he's like, "You're covered, Kinsey. No tab." And Kinsey's like, "But I'm with her."
God.
So you pay up and walk in. As you go in, when you walk into the warehouse itself, the warehouse is dilapidated. There's no one in there, right? But you walk in and there is like a rope, like, those velvet ropes, goes from post to post to post. There's a rope post going down from the door you came in along the side of the building. And so you guys are walking along the rope chain, and as you walk along the rope chain, you suddenly hear the noise of a crowd. That's the first thing that hits you. And then as you're walking in, the lighting changes from the dull ambient light that was in the room. It suddenly gets much brighter. As you it's almost like you walk through a haze. And you walk into a hallway that's lit. And as you come out of the other end of the hallway, you walk into this huge scene of a large room that has a ring in the center of it. On the left and right hand sides, there are stadium style seating going up on either side. And on the side that you can enter into the room in, and across the ring on the other side, there is a long bar along the wall. And there's tables on the ground along the in front of the bar, like about a dozen tables on either side. But the only tables that you could sit at and see the ring well are the ones right up next to the ring itself. The other tables are just, they're not as good viewing. But there is all the stadium seating for people to sit and watch the fights. You can see there's a fight going on in the ring right now. The ring is not like a raised ring. It's actually kind of lowered into the floor. And it has fencing all around it, steel fencing that goes like about 15 feet tall. And then above the fencing, you can see that there has been like a huge dome cage apparatus that has been fastened to the top of the arena. And it goes up about 20 feet over the top of the cage. And it's just, so the entire cage is sealed in. And there's an entrance to the cage on one side, and there's an entrance cage on the other side. Inside, there is ropes like a standard boxing arena. So there is like an area inside that you're supposed to fight in. And you can see that there is like the standard setup on either corner. There's a cut man, there's a trainer, and the fighters are in the middle of the ring fighting. But as you're watching, one of the fighters like leaps up into the air and stays in the air. And begins hovering around the other fighter's head and trying to land blows about the head and shoulders, while the other fighter is covering up and trying to get a hold of his ankle in the midair. You don't see any wings on the guy flying, so either he flies by magic or some other means. But the crowd is going wild. You can see that there is, against the wall, there is a large chalkboard, and there's a guy like on a stand on it, and he's marking odds for fights. You know what I mean? And the current fight that's on there is the slates. Like you can see, you can lift whole slates off and move them up and down. So the names are on the slates, and you can see that there's 4 slates already filled out. The one that's current, and then there's 3 fights already booked after it. But that's all that shows at one time. And so you guys are sitting there, and like I said, there's the bars to the left of you, there's tables in front of you, and then if you go to the right and walk back towards the building, you can get to the stadium seating. So what are you gonna do?
Lex is gonna head for the bar.
Drake's right behind her. We gotta set up Lex and start establishing ourselves. We're not gonna do that sitting around.
What about the rest of you? Callie? It's really loud.
Yeah, I'm gonna swing back to like Val and Utopia and be like,
I don't know what happened. I thought we were trying to find friends, and we found this little gnome, and now we're here. I don't understand.
Did Kinsey go with Lex, or is he with us?
Oh no, Kenzie's glued to Lex's leg.
Yeah, that's what I thought. Okay.
Yeah.
Just like hugging it like a tree.
100%.
He's not even on his own two legs at this point. He's just literally wrapped around her leg.
Well, I just figured, a lot of times you grip your hand over your date's shoulder. Kinsey can't even reach your hip, so he just wrapped his hand around your knee.
Yep.
And as your leg goes forward, he kind of runs a few steps.
Oh my
Then he runs a
god.
few steps with your leg.
Do you want to find somewhere to sit?
Yes, we think that's a good idea.
Okay.
Should we sit in the front or the back?
The front's going to be a bit loud, I think. That depends on Callie.
You notice
How-
that
how-
the
how are
majority
you
of people sitting in tables closer to the bar, the majority of people sitting in tables closer to the bar are more interested in their conversations they're having at those tables. It is quieter near the bar, but it's not quieter by a lot.
Well, I mean, there's not like a big difference between the here and the not here. I don't know. It's kind of loud, but I think that's the point. There's a lot of people.
Yes.
It's exciting.
Well, then, do you want to sit near where the fighting is?
Oh, that's right. There's fighting here.
There's two guys literally
Yes.
fighting.
Literally
right
fighting
now.
right
Right
over
over there. Right over there. Right over there.
I kind of want to watch the fightings.
All right, then we can
Let's-
sit closer to the front then.
I mean, is that good? Is that right? Wait, Lex is fighting. I knew that. We
Yes.
should be close so we can
Yes.
watch.
Yes, we want to cheer on our friend. That's why we're here.
Yes, indeed.
All right.
This is
So you guys are going to look for a table near the ring.
Yep.
And Lex, you, Kinsey, and, well, Drake, but Sam disappeared,
Yes.
are headed up to the bar.
Yep.
And Kinsey's, as you're walking to the bar, Kinsey kind of like, no, what are you wearing, Lex?
She's probably still in her usual. So it's the brown leather
Hmm,
pants, the white shirt with the
gotcha.
brown, like the two brown belts, the red
Mhm.
accents,
Yeah.
the brown boots.
So as you're walking up, he reaches up and pulls your, because I'm assuming it's like kind of peasant blouse, the white shirt is, so it has like
Yeah.
the cuffs and everything. He kind of pulls in your cuffs a couple of times because your hand's kind of swinging down, and he's like, and he points to a guy who's like in the middle of the bar, and he's tending bar, he's giving people drinks, but he is a human, older, and he is about average height, everything like that. In fact, nothing really strikes you as far as he's balding and everything like that. He's like, and Kinsey's like, that's Mac.
And she turns to Drake first and she just holds out her hand. Grace's palm.
Just because of knowing, like, I got you.
And she'll sidle up to the bar and wait for Mac to notice her.
You see an opening coming up as a couple of people get their drinks and leave the bar, and you guys slide into the open spot. As you do, Kinsey like jumps up into the bar stool beside you, Lex, and he's like, Mac. And Mac turns around and he's like, the fuck you want, Kinsey? And Kinsey like, it's like, I want you to meet my girlfriend.
Yo.
And Mac's like, again?
Kinsey's a whore.
Well,
Like,
this just gets more and more
Kinsey,
interesting.
Someday, one of these ladies is gonna realize just how bad you are, and they're actually going to hurt you. And Kinsey's like, someday.
I think he's looking forward to it.
It's like, and he kind of shakes his head, and he looks at you, Lex, and he's like, whatever he told you, it's probably the truth. He's a pervert. What can I get you?
On the card for tonight.
He's like, yeah, that fits Kinsey. I like, so you're a fighter?
Sure, let's go with fighter.
He's like,
Ever seen a demon split in half before?
I'm like, I work here. I've seen
Doesn't
just
answer
about
the
everything
question.
split in half before. It is, what type of match you looking for? I got 4 open spots for the rest of the night. He's like, this is what you have to beat out. He's like, I've got a first blood match with open rules, magic items, magic itself, everything's allowed. He says, no seconds, no trainers. He says, I got 2 fighters for that match. So you're going to have to prove to me that you can be the equal or better of one of them before I let you take their place. He says, I've got a bare knuckle boxing match. It says standard rules, 3 fall knockdown. He says it's pretty much standard fare. He says that's the second slot. He says, you know, that one is another pretty much. You'll have to give me some kind of credentials to get on that one. I've got 2 of our best fighters involved with that. So it's like the other 2 matches I've got, I haven't fully signed my fighters for the evening because they are 2 of the later matches, and usually less people stick around for those, so there's less money to be had in the purse. And he says, but I have a fairly good feeling about you for the second, or the first one of the 2. He says, we've got a quit match. Basically, someone has to be forced to give up or be unable to continue. It says that one is, once again, no holds barred. Magic items are given. And he says no healing equipment, no healing magics. He says because that would make the match run forever. He says, other than that, anything you carry on you into the ring is usable. He says that one's got the biggest prize out of that one's got the biggest prize out of the 2. He says, and the last one is a I could get you in on that one because it's a tag match. But one of my fighters in the tag match is actually hurt, and he's willing to play injured, but you know, his partner would like to see him replaced so they don't get really, really hurt. And that one is an actual wrestling match. 3 pinfalls wins. The boxing match is 2-minute rounds. It says the wrestling match is 5-minute rounds. The boxing match is set to go for 10 rounds. The wrestling match is set to go for 4 rounds. It says, and the 1v1 is set to go until the fall with no breaks.
I'll take the 1v1.
I expect no less.
He says, all right, let me see. You said you fought before?
Yep.
Where?
I'm a champion of the Burning Sands.
In the Spindle.
Yep.
Okay, it's like, He says, I thought so. He says, all right. Do you want to meet your opponent before, or do you want to be a surprise?
I can't look at the chat. Nah, let's have it be a surprise. It's more fun that way.
He said, all right. And Lex says, he's like, well, she's going to see it when they put up the odds. He's like, yeah, but I don't know if she'll know the name, so. And Lex is like, who is he? He's like, you'll see. Or Lex, sorry, that's you. Kinsey's like, who is it? And so anyway, and Kinsey's like, he kind of looks at you and he says, are you sure you want to do, that's a rough match. I mean, people lose limbs.
Don't worry, we got something for that.
I mean,
least I do.
unless you know someone who's a healer, if you die, you know, you could go in a lot of debt trying to pay for that.
Would you believe me if I said I once had my legs so mangled a dead spider looked more serene?
Well, I mean, if you're fighters, then you know magic heals a lot of stuff. I'm just saying it can get expensive if you don't have a friend who does that type of stuff.
We got
Oh,
some
trust me.
friends.
Camille kind of says, "Don't worry, it's covered." And he says, "I can't stop you." He's like, "Don't really want to, but I can't anyway." He says, "This is going to be a good night." He says, "Matt, give me a picture of the stout." And Max says, "You got that type of money?" And he says,
Utopia? No.
he says,
Why else am I
And
here?
Kinsey says, "Put it on my tab." And Max says, "Kinsey, you don't have a tab here anymore."
Does he need help?
And Kinsey
No,
kinda,
let
Kinsey
the man
kinda, like,
learn his
leans
lesson.
on the bar and goes like, "Mac, you're embarrassing me."
In front of my girlfriend.
And Mac kind of looks at you and looks at Kinsey and he says, "All right, you brought me a diamond in the rough, Kinsey." He's like, "You have a tab for one night, and I will cut you off if you go nuts." And he goes over to one of the drafts and he pours a pitcher of really dark beer, and he puts it down and puts it down and puts down a tray of glasses and he says, "There you go, folks. Enjoy." He says, "If you need anything, just let me know." He's like, "You got about an hour until your match is probably up."
Actually,
Like,
there
watch
may
the
be
card.
something.
He says, "Lex, right?"
Yep.
He's like, "I'll make sure it's spelled right on the marquee. People will want to know."
It's difficult to spell wrong.
He's like,
You'd be surprised.
"Most of these people were happy if they can write." He says,
There may be something you can help us with, possibly.
It's like, as I said, you brought me a really good match for the night. What can I do?
Who out here looks out for the downtrodden and keeps them from being taken advantage of?
I mean, that's kind of a loaded question, isn't it? There's a lot of people who specialize in keeping the downtrodden downtrodden.
I'm not talking about keeping the downtrodden like that.
Oh no, I know what you're saying. I'm just saying you're asking me a loaded question. It says but I can tell you this. If you're looking for some people who do their best to make things right for others, Are you looking for someone who does that in the name of someone, or just because it's the right thing to do?
Either or, really.
Hang on a second.
Rude as
Should
fuck.
be reconnecting.
Rat bastard, mother, son of a gun.
There it goes. It's back.
Son of a nun.
Sorry
How
about that, folks.
weird.
That was real quick.
Oh,
He says you're probably looking for the Sisters of Mercy. And he says they're one of the larger groups that actually tries to help. He says if you're looking for someone who does it just because it's the right thing to do, you're probably looking for Jacob Strongbar.
any of them in the building tonight?
The Sisters of Mercy here? No. He's like, and although Jacob loves fights, I don't think that he is gonna come down here. Because around here, you're looking more for the people who want to keep people downtrodden.
Shame. Honestly
it is what it
surprised.
is. Surprised? Do you know where you are?
And I know where I'm
I
from is much worse.
It is, in all honesty, this is some place that they would call a den of iniquity. It says you don't come here unless you're desperate or you need access to something that only money or favors can provide.
Interesting.
Sisters of Mercy is the name of my Twisted Sister cover band.
I'd watch that.
Sisters of Mercy is actually the name of a band.
Dope.
He says, what exactly are you looking for?
Like I said before, like-minded individuals. Places like this, like my home, they're filled with those who take advantage of others and those who try to help keep others afloat, so to speak. Keep the starving from dying out. Keep those who can't defend themselves out from underneath the wolf's jaws.
Well, we may have had a misunderstanding then. Because I was taking it as you were looking for someone in this facility. But the Sisters of Mercy operate out of this neighborhood. And Jacob is one of the bigger employers in this neighborhood. He owns more than a few shipping companies. He says, but like I said, one of them will really spend a lot of time here. It's not really the type of place that they would want to be seen at.
Where can I find them?
Well, Jacob has his shipping company his main shipping company that he runs all the others out of. And so you probably saw his office buildings back in the square. He said, and the Sisters of Mercy, if you go north from the square along Cobble Street, he says you will see their church. He says, and beside it is the home they run for the lost and the homeless. He says you'll see that before the church. Sorry, it's on the south side of the church, and on the north side of the church is the orphanage.
Sisters of Mercy. Now that I think about it, the name sounds familiar. I may have met one of them.
It's like you may have. They do a lot of work in the name of the Mist Mother.
Thank you.
It's like, very well. It says, is that all You need it?
Yes. I know my friend's skills. I know I don't exactly need to be here to root them on for them to win.
He says, that's up to you. He says, your friend is a known commodity. And I wouldn't have suggested them those matches unless I thought that they would be able to make those matches more interesting.
Originally, I was planning on participating myself, but matches don't seem to line up quite with what I'm capable of.
They're lined up to entertain the crowds.
Yes, and these aren't very entertaining, and just a quick glimmer of what almost looks like a barely translucent throwing knife in the hand that just quickly vanishes.
He's like, seems similar, but he says it all depends on how you wield them. There's plenty of folks who like to use the blades that do it flashy.
Hmm.
He said, but if you're not one of them, then yeah, the crowd's not going to take to you.
You're not wrong.
He says,
Just going over the link, it's like found something of interest. I'm going to investigate.
Is it wise to go alone?
Considering this area, I'll fit right in.
If you die, I'm never forgiving you.
If I die, it means I was caught off guard.
Ah, so you're never forgiving yourself either.
Precisely.
So Kinsey's like hopped down off the stool, and he's literally like, he's pulled the pitcher off, and he slides the tray of glasses on, puts them on top of his head, and he says,
Ooh.
"Shall we go sit?"
That's a neat trick. I want to try that.
He's like, it's tall as the bar, so I figured it's easier.
No, that makes sense. I think they'd be up too high if I put them on my head.
You just squat
It
down.
might stick.
Kinsey says, I think your friends may have found seats. So Val. Oh. Thank you for sharing this. You and Utopia are looking for seats up at the front. You find one of the tables that looks like it's just been recently vacated. It has enough chairs around it for everybody. As you sit down, someone comes over and begins like bussing the table off and wiping it down for you. Excuse me, a waitress comes walking up, and over the throng of the crowd, she's like, "What can I get you?"
Utopia's first instinct is to ask for the wide list.
It's
There's
like-
not a
it's
wide
like-
list here.
It's like Utopia. Actually, he's gonna actually tell everyone. All right, who in here, other than myself and Lex, actually has experience in this kind of thing?
This could be the link.
We've got some.
Yay, Dad's got it.
Camille, please tell me you have some experience with this.
I don't think you can put Camille in the link.
I was gonna
Camille's
say
in the link.
She's in the link.
Then
She's
who's
in the
not
link. Kinsey.
As of the level we currently are,
Yeah, we
and how
leveled
many
up.
people we have, everyone's in the
Kinsey.
link.
Yeah, we leveled up, so everyone.
yeah,
but
Kinsey's not in the link. Because he wasn't there. when
Kinsey's
you
not
set
in
it
the
up
link.
originally.
He doesn't have link privileges.
Because literally, it is myself and then my proficiency bonus. So considering there's 4 other party members
That's it.
plus Camille,
Uh-huh.
Whee!
got it.
We made it. We made it. Level up. Let's go.
Dun, dun, dun. So Camille's like, she's like, no, I don't think I've ever been to a professional fighting ring before, or an underground fighting ring before. Before this, I was just trying to before I joined up with you guys, I was just trying to make sure that my family and I didn't starve. So this would be kind of like a luxury.
do you know how to behave in the Undercity?
I know how to sit down, shut up, and not draw attention to myself, unlike the rest of you.
She's so smart. She's so smart.
She does
Camille, Tally.
What?
It's like mental link, Tally.
so much. I fucking love her.
Sorry, what? Trying to look real serious.
Thank you very
It's
much
like
for the follow.
the entire group. They're going to be looking for the entire group. Besides, at least one of us in this group can properly disguise themselves.
The order still stands.
I know. Besides, if I die, it's because I got jumped, and I will never forgive myself for that.
Well, of course you won't, because you'll be dead.
I can bring you back.
Yeah, that's why I can never forgive myself for it.
Fine, you'll just come back as a Timmy.
Yeah, he'll be a Timmy.
We need more Timmys in this
The
world.
Timmification of
The
Drake.
Timification of Drake.
The Timification of Drake. Camille says, I can bring him back, and he won't be a Timmy.
I don't know, it might be more fun if he's a Timmy.
Oh, that's true.
You kidding? I'll lose all my charm.
What charm?
My invisible blades.
Don't know if they call that charm or just invisible blades.
Yeah.
Camille looks at the waitress and says, can we see the wine list?
Oh, that was what I was going to ask.
And the waitress says, yes, I'll fetch it and be right back.
Dang, this place fancy.
Thank you very much for the raid, Fablemancers.
There's literally like 4 wines on it. There's a house white,
Just this
a
Franzia.
slightly better white, a house red, and a slightly better
Happy
red.
Wednesday to you, Fablemancers. Yeah, the wine list says, we have wine.
Oh my god.
Val, if you really need to know where I'm going,
Out.
there's a local harbor master that seems to share interests. I'm going to see how close those interests align, and then it turns out a sect of Aeom's group is in the area.
Sisters of Mercy.
Oh, that would be lovely.
I'm going to pay him a visit. Make sure that check to see if the connection is there.
The
All right.
the chat just pointed out that Drake would be more obedient as a Timmy.
True.
It's true. He'd have to listen to Callie.
Yes.
So,
Oh, let me stir my drink.
Oh my god.
There's no liquid
Subtle
in there.
Sam.
thank you very much for the follow, Chef Gargs.
We can
So
fix that.
you guys are heading. Are you moving from the bar back to the table where they're at?
Yes.
Okay. Lex, do you let Kinsey carry the beer
No.
tray?
Oh my
No,
God.
He took that from him immediately.
Oh man.
He's like, what?
I'm not paying if you break shit.
It's like, do you think that these incredibly nimble, dexterous, and oh so talented fingers would stop and break something?
My brother in Christ.
My brother in Mist. Be so
Brother in
expeditiously
My-
fucking for real.
My brother in Mist is better than the other option.
Brother and mother.
My brother and mother.
No, just to make it worse. My brother and mommy.
My brother and Mist. Be so fucking for real right now.
Ooh.
And he looks at you and he's like,
Oh my god.
what? Like you wouldn't be willing to sing your own praises? I have skills.
I'll sing my praises plenty of times. I'm still not risking alcohol abuse.
Very well. It is never polite to argue with a lady.
The only lady I see is that one, and she will very specifically point to Utopia.
Oh my
He says,
god!
in that
Yeah.
case, I'll make sure you know my safe word.
Dead
My
by
brother
Sid.
in this.
Dead by Sid.
My brother and miss.
Val smirks quietly.
It's literally they just keep hearing from like my brother in mist.
Kelly
they close
is
by?
officially
Can
gonna
we
start
hear what they're
referring to
saying?
people as this.
Yes. Oh yeah. No, this is slang now. 100%.
She's just gonna go up to the bar. Hello, my brother and miss.
Hello, my brother.
I would like one beer, please.
I would like one alcohol, please.
I would like one alcohol. Would you like to see my ID? I am 21.
How would you like to pay? I'm paying with a gift card.
A gift card?
Oh
I would
no!
like to play with this Walmart gift card. I found it in the parking lot.
What do you mean
I'd
you
like
don't
to
take
play with this
Amazon
vanilla
gift
Visa.
cards? If they're good enough for that prince in Saudi Arabia, they're good enough for you.
Oh my god. All right,
Or
so-
Nigeria, right? That's the
Nigeria.
Nigerian
The
princess.
Nigerian princess.
Yeah, that's the
Nigerian
joke.
or
That's
Kenyan,
the
I
joke.
think is usually.
I got there.
So he says, Kinsey says, he gets up on a chair, and Alexis, you sit the tray of mugs down. He slides the mugs over and he takes the pitcher from you, and he begins pouring beer. But he doesn't just pour the beer into the mug all careful like. He literally takes the mug and he's got it on a table and he starts pouring the beer, and then he just raises the mug up and
Oh.
tilts the glass as he pours it. And then he
Okay.
just tilts it back and he like pours in a perfect head of beer and sets it down.
We appreciate that.
And he says,
I'm assuming he gives the first one to like.
yes, oh, absolutely.
Yep.
He starts pouring the beers out. He hands the first one to Lex. He gives the second one to Callie. He gives the next one to Utopia. And the next one to Camille. And then he's out of beer because it's only one pitcher.
Oh,
Val
Sophia's
will look
gonna
at
offer
the.
Val the wine.
I was gonna say actually, Lex
Val will
pushes
take the
hers
wine
to
list.
Val.
Aw.
Then Val will take hers, then and then give her like a. I understand. Look,
And and he says, he looks at you and looks at the beer and he's like, not to your tastes.
I don't drink before a fight.
Ah, yes, thins out the blood and makes you bleed faster. Understandable. He says, in that case, what about just some very cool water?
Water's fine.
She's like, he kind of looks around. He kind of looks over at you, Callie, and he's like, I like it when she growls.
That's usually a warning sign from animals that things are about to get really, really bad.
He gets this like absolute gleeful look in his face. He's like,
Oh my
I
God.
know.
Oh,
And he hops down off.
yes.
He hops down off his chair and he goes walking up towards the bar.
We found
the moment
most-
he walks away,
Oh
Uh-huh.
my
the moment
god.
he walks away, Val leans forward, like takes a sip of the beer, and it's like, and where did you find this one?
At the docks.
Drake found him on the docks.
And Camille
What
says,
can I say? It's a gift.
Must be a lucky day.
Camille says, I don't exactly understand what exactly is happening, but are you two dating?
Less dating, more in his
On a date.
imagination.
That's very fast.
Oh, I thought this was a date. He said it was a date.
Just mentally, it's like
We're
It's like-
letting him think that.
Okay.
it's easier for us to get what we need if he believes he is getting what he wants. Look
Which is
how
a date.
much he has offered up and given us in return for nothing at all but ideas.
That's a bit mean.
I wasn't aware we got anything.
He didn't.
Well,
Just play along. Let Lex
Are we going to have to make him bleed from his brain?
Camille's
We
like,
weren't really counting on that today.
Camille looks at you, Lex, and she kind of like sits back a little bit, and she says, "I have both gained and lost respect for you."
Thank
Well, I didn't think you were one to use your feminine wiles.
I mean, honestly, I'm not. That's kind of the thing.
He's doing it all on his own.
It's more wish fulfillment on his part,
And she says,
where
like,
he thinks he's getting what he wants.
Camille says, "I don't know how to feel about any of this."
Camille, if you think that's bad, I used to do this sort of what Lex is doing now professionally. And I'm
Camille
not
says,
talking
"You were
about
a
the fighting.
prostitute?"
Technically.
Oh,
Did you
I
miss that part?
didn't know
You
that.
didn't know about that?
Camille says, "Sex work is real work."
No, it is
Sex
real
is real
work.
work.
But
It's
in
like,
that case, he was getting
yes,
paid.
but I was also
there are places
paid
where it's
to manipulate, extort, and steal while on the job from other people, and then make it look like something else was going on.
No, that's not a good thing. That's
I think we're
just
talking
me.
about two different things.
yeah, I think we are.
We certainly are.
Corporate espionage, big words from Lex,
Oh my
meets
God.
prostitution.
Precisely.
It's like,
I will also say that Drake definitely taught me the phrase corporate espionage.
100.
You're not supposed to tell them that.
Nobody was gonna believe I knew that on my own.
Says who? You've learned things over this trip.
so Timmy,
Not
Timmy
that
I'm
kind of
sorry,
big
Kinsey
word.
comes walking back up, and he has like a pitcher of water with actual ice in it,
Ooh.
and a glass. And
fancy.
he pours a glass of water and puts it in front of Lex, and he says, "Nothing but the best. In this case, the best water. So I don't know how high that ranks, but
Good water is very, very important.
he's like." Kinsey
The
shakes his
moment
head and
the
says,
water gets
"Yeah, go ahead."
the moment the water gets set down, Val's eyes go black as he casts detect magic on it.
No. Oh, yes. It has magic on it. But I gotta look up the spell and see what school of magic it is.
Oh. Oh. Oh.
If it's enchantment, we gonna have some words for this
Val
for
is
this young
all-
man.
It's
It
just
is conjuration magic.
Is it
Conjuring up fresh water.
or conjuring ice.
Or
Or
is it,
conjuring
yeah,
ice.
is it for the ice? I was gonna say is it
Is the spell on the pitcher or the water liquid itself?
That's kind of an interesting take on it. The pitcher's not magical, the water is.
Val will put an arm on Lex's hand or put a hand on Lex's hand before she reaches for the water. And in the mind chat. Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Well, in the
reach for it.
mind chat, that water's magical. Blink and the black eyes are gone.
Magic water.
And it's just in the mind link check. It's just yeah, I wasn't gonna touch that either.
should we not touch the beer then?
The beer
I
is
should be fine with the beer.
Okay.
The waitress comes back about that time and she sets the wine list, hands the wine list to Camille. Camille takes it and looks at it and says like, no, it's about what I expected. And she turns it around and just says, "We have wine."
It actually took so long to get because they had to write it.
They made it.
They had
Scribbled
to
on a piece
make
of
it.
paper.
They took one look at Utopia and we're like, yeah, we can do something. We can do something.
There's like
have-
ink drops for where it was written.
Yeah.
It's actually written in wine.
Madam, one wine, please.
One wine, please.
One wine.
So, you guys are sitting at this table in this illegal fighting den, and you're sitting at a table next to the ring where two people have been like trying to kill each other this entire time, and you've been
No, for real,
absolutely ignoring them.
We're not here
So-
for the fight. We're not here to watch other people
Not here for
fight.
this fight. We're here for Lex's fight. Also, Lex's whole like centering meditation thing. She dog to match her cat because I can bark. Just saying. I'm just saying.
I was
God.
gonna, but what I was gonna say is it's a good place to end for the evening,
Yes.
and so
Perfect.
so we can get into the chaos next time. So, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much to everyone who stayed with us tonight. Thank you so much again for the raid, and we love to see that, and we really hope you guys liked what was going on. This is the typical chaos that is Kingdoms of Mist. Like I was saying in chat, intelligence is a dumb stat is the motto of our crew, and we even have it on a t-shirt. Also, don't forget, if you want to catch all of Dinner and Games' other content, you can find our link tree in the chat, in all the chats. But you also remember that we do things to try and keep our doors open, and one of those things is we have a sponsor through Many Worlds Taverns. They are amazing purveyors of coffee and teas, and they're ethically sourced, and they're incredible company. They're based out of Houston, Texas, so they're locals to me, and we are big purveyors of their own product, as well as I know Sphinx has a ton of their teas.
I have one of every tea they offer.
Yeah. Have you gotten to try all of them now?
I have, and they're all delightful.
What's your favorite?
Oh, I want to say it's Shifting Sands, the masala chai one.
Yeah.
Oh,
still my
masala
favorite.
chai is so good.
Oh.
Masala chai is so freaking amazing. And they
Yeah.
have they also have coffees. They have a dark roast, a medium roast, and a light roast. And plus they have an alternating coffee of the month. Oh, and they also have a decaf. They have an alternating coffee of the month that is basically sourced differently every single month. And so every single month you get a unique coffee. Plus, in every single thing you get a set of dice. I actually don't have any of the dice. I usually have them laying around me, but I don't have any dice around me right now. But you get a set of dice, and you get a custom magic item in every box. Oops.
There it is.
Yeah,
There it was.
Yes. This one's called Halia's Blessing. It says, when uncorked, this dark, mysterious liquid smells like a bright, delicious coffee. When a creature takes an action to drink a serving of this potion, it gains the effects of the Bless spell for 10 minutes, without the need for concentration. The bottle contains a maximum of 6 servings, and 1d3 servings are regained each day at dawn. If all servings are consumed, the bottle loses its magic and remains a mundane glass bottle. So basically, as long as you save 1 serving, it regenerates. And this is a uncommon magic item. So it's all kind of cool. Every single month you get a new magic item, and the coffees themselves are amazing. They had this honey infused coffee 2 months ago. It was called Jaguar. It was actually sourced from Colombia, and it was just incredible. And I wish they had made that one that made a permanent one, because that was amazing. So anyway, sorry, I actually love the company, so I think kind of gush. Also, do not forget that you can pick up Dinner and a Game merch if you want to support us. Also, we have a Patreon. We haven't been talking about it a lot because we've been off for about a month, but our Patreon is going to be our main way we try and support our feed. We actually were affiliates with Twitch, and we got off the affiliate program because we wanted to stream to as many different channels as we possibly could. So now when we live stream, we're live streaming to Twitch, Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, and we're live streaming to Kick. So we live stream to all those channels all at once to try and get us out there as much as possible. Now that we have moved and everything's settling down, we're going to do our best to start promoting the show again and getting some real eyes on our content, because if you haven't noticed, the people playing here are fucking amazing, and I want to make sure that people get to enjoy this as much as possible. And that's my main goal. I mean, the stories that we tell, I am just a facilitator. I just create the NPCs and populate the world. These players make the story. They are the ones who supply the characters that are the driving force. All my storylines are based around character background, character creation for these players. And that's the whole point of the games that we play. That's their heavy story, their heavy investment for my players, and I want that investment to be honored. So if you guys can give us a watch, we'd really appreciate it. And if you guys want to go give everyone an individual follow, we have Sphinx here, who was playing Valestein O'Kal. You can find his content at this link. We have Cassie, who is playing the enigmatic Calavatia, who is our little darling mushroom of joy. We have Milagros, who is Utopia Aster O'Kal, the noble who knows that money can buy happiness but doesn't know why.
Yep.
We have Liz, who is playing Lex, the dynamic barbarian of apparently himboness. And then we have
He of the thickest of thighs.
thickest o' thighs. And then we have Sam, who is playing Drake, the absolute hero, the noblest of nobles, the most amazing and bestest, the best of us all. And I think that his titles were all tapped out in chat. But Milagros, would you like to list the titles that Drake has earned?
I
been
would be
bestowed?
delighted.
It's Charlie's favorite part of the whole stream.
We gotta close out with the introduction, or rather, saying goodbye to. Hold on, let me take a big, deep breath. All right.
I swear to God, you cannot
His
do
Majesty,
you do this all in
Saint
one breath,
Pontiff,
if
King
anything.
Chancellor, Doctor, Professor, Abbot, Lieutenant, Prophet, Pillow Princess, Constable, Brother, Father, Hero, Omega Drake, Protector of Children, Defender of the Lost, Guide to the Downtrodden, the Vengeful Blade, Shepherd of the Lost, Child of the Crimson Falcon. I got pretty far along. And Heir of the Scarlet
Phrasing.
Reaver, Shadow of the Night Mother, Savior of the Spindle, the Walking War Crime, the Bitchy Brain Cell, the Poof Pleaser, and the Sultan of Secrets. More to come later. We're just gonna keep adding to this for the rest of the campaign.
God damn it. And this is why Drake will never get laid.
Because he has too many titles. The
You have
girls
to
will
address
let
him by
Maybe
his
the dude.
full title.
When he
Oh my
introduces
God.
himself, he has to introduce himself with all the titles in the
No,
list. It's like,
no,
yeah,
no.
Go on,
The moment
okay.
there's like an announce, this is what's gonna happen. They're gonna walk into somewhere. Somebody's gonna start announcing names and titles. Just gonna give a deep breath. Go on. The moment they start, just gun to the head. It's like,
Put the
say
scroll
my
away.
name and go on to the next person.
Put the scroll away.
I will.
Let's just
shoot
pick
you.
Drake up and carry him in.
Put the scroll away.
No,
Distance
no,
does not matter.
Put the scroll away.
Oh
Just-
my God.
just arm
I love
around
you
Just
it.
guys
buy
so
enough
much.
time to where it'd
Just-
be
just
so awkward
forces
they
his arm
can't
down.
finish it and forces them to go on to the next person.
Well, also, we normally would raid into somebody else, but one of the new things that have become a problem from us having multi-streamed is you can now raid on Facebook and on YouTube. So, but there's no way to do it from a multi-stream platform because I use Realstream.io, and so I can't do it from there. I would have to be streaming to only one of the channels to be able to raid out. Like when we were raiding before, we were only raiding from Twitch, so I'd raid out from Twitch and then end the stream. So now I don't know how to raid out from multiple channels, and it'd probably take me forever to figure it out. So I'm going to work on that for the next time, but for now, we will just go ahead and say thank you all for joining us here at Dinner and a Game. Remember, do everything you can to keep yourself safe, social distance where you can, wear a mask when you can. There's going to be surges. Please protect yourself. We want you to stay safe so you can join us game after game and enjoy the content that we create, because we love creating the content, but we hope you love watching it. Dinner Game, we always save you a seat at the table. We hope to see you on Friday for Best of Days, which is going to be our new campaign that we are starting, which is playing in Tales from the Loop, which is an amazing RPG, loosely based. No, not even loosely based. It's its own mechanic, but it's a great game system, and it's basically think Stranger Things, little bit of X-Files, and a whole lot of wackiness. That's going to be on Friday, and then we are going to see you guys next week for the relaunch.